And I'm excited to welcome our beautiful, distinguished Toastmaster, Region 8 Advisor, Ms. Shirley Daly.
So good morning, District 84. I want to say that District 84 is on the move. Are you? Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I want to say thanks to the team, the quad, and you out there for giving me a wonderful and very rich experience. I do feel very energized, and I know that you are going to be successful and you're going to go for your goals and realize all those goals. All right. Area and division director roles, those are critical. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree? And so yes, the team has asked me to look at how they apply to outside of Toastmasters, the life outside of Toastmasters. I just like a book. I had my book there. I should have brought it, but it's down there. Your life is a storied life. That's what I want to say. All right. And the book, could you pass my book for me, please? I'm going to be vulnerable, as I was told by our club yesterday. Thanks. And as area directors and district directors, and the persons who are in Toastmasters members, see your life as a storied life. And as you continue to carry out your role, I want us to take it up a notch, just like in the cookbook where they say, take it up a notch on the TV show, the cooking show, I call it. This book represents your life's journey to this point. Think of it, this book. Can you see my book? Let me see on the screen. All right. Think about writing some of the chapters based on your roles as area and division directors and the application outside of Toastmasters. So what I thought of, to just look at a couple of the roles that you perform as area directors and division directors. The area director role. This is big because you are, please read what you see on the screen, everybody. All right, so I'd like to hear the room. You are the ones with the voice, loud and clear. 1, 2. Yes, that's the role of the area director. That's who you are, right? Madam Coach from Toastmasters Club video Oviedo, yes, you are the first link in the district leadership chain, and that's very important. You start something. All right. What are some of the roles you perform? As the area director, you are the direct liaison between the district and the clubs. If we want to know what's happening in the clubs, we have to check with our area directors. And that also, apart from having informal discussions with the club officers, you also have to conduct club visits 2 times. All right. And this is for each area, you have to go and conduct club visits. And that means having discussions, speaking with the club officers, hearing what's happening, hearing their heart. And of course, coming out of that would be the effective meetings, conduct effective meetings. Let's go again. You're the direct liaison between the district and the club. We have to consult you if we want information. You go and you do your visit, and that means that you have to have the conversation and ask the right question. You conduct effective meetings, and out of that, you'll be able to understand and support club needs. How does that apply to your everyday life? How does that apply to life outside of Toastmasters? What's happening is that you're building relationships, and not just building relationships, you're building key relationships. And you're also building and using interview skills. These interview skills, you use them at work, you use them at home, and you also will be using them socially. at work, you might be in a team or you might be the leader in a team. And based on the situation, you're able to ask the right question. In your role as area director, you learn how to ask the right question. You learn how to give feedback. You learn how to ask questions to get information rather than assuming. And therefore, if you want to teach other persons how to conduct proper interviews, that's what you're able to do. And you're doing that outside of Toastmasters. You are able to, if you're applying for a job, a new job, the way you applied for the first job is going to be different now that you are in this role, because you're learning and you also have experience to bring to the table when you are in an interview. I have been doing this particular job, this volunteer job, and I met a particular situation, and this is the way I handled it. Because one of the interview questions might be posed to you. You had a challenge. Share with us a most challenging experience in your life, and how did you handle it? How did you learn? What did you learn from it? And those are some of the things you would have brought with you from being area director, because you have had this experience before. So it sharpens your interview skills, and even at home, working with your family members, you learn not to assume things. But if you have to discuss a challenging situation, you have a nice little conversation and validate the person. Say something very positive about the relationship you have. And then you ask a question, why did you do X? Why did you snap at your mother? And the person is given an opportunity to share that. And then you're able to talk it through and close off by validating the person again. You're really good. When I see how you address your chores, I'm really happy about that. And so let's move on. Therefore, that's one of the ways you can apply that skill set outside of Toastmasters. One of the other things you're able to do is when you have to work, when you have to volunteer, when you have to run your homes, when you have to do other things, you learn to plan. So it develops your organizing and planning skills. And so on the screen, you see your to-do list. You learn how to prioritize. And one of the things Toastmasters teaches me, and I know that coming up through the rank, it continues, is how to plan. And because I'm a good planner and a good organizer at work, I am asked to make presentations on organizing and planning. So that's outside of Toastmasters. And I learned that skill in Toastmasters and continue to sharpen it. And another application is you're able to provide concise and relevant information to key stakeholders. We learn time management. We learn that you are to answer the questions correctly. We are guided. And develop that skill and are able to take it outside. All right. So let's look at our division director roles. The key role, two key roles, you lead and support the division. And the second one, supervise and support area directors. That's a big role. After you're finished leading, after you go through this experience, you can become a big team leader in your organization. You can take up a managerial position, a supervisory position. Yes, because of what is required of you as you carry out this role. And you ensure that each club achieve its mission. You ensure that each club fulfills its responsibilities to its members, and you set the vision goals. We are provided with guidelines as to how to do this in Toastmasters. As a manager in the workplace or as a team member, you make a contribution to how the organization is able to achieve its mission. You also have personal missions. You have things to do with other clubs you might be a part of, other networks. And so you bring that skill set there too. And what are some of the skill sets that you would take there? And one of them is that event planning skill set. Because one of the roles of the division director is that you have to coordinate division activities. And let me tell you something, event planning is a big technical skill set. When you think of even planning for this morning, the amount of hours that goes into this. And when you are part of a team planning an event outside of Toastmasters, you are able to ask the right questions. You are able to help them to use the principle we use in Toastmasters before the event, during the event, and after the event. That's an important approach. On my little slide here, you have the importance of determining who will be responsible for what. What is the timeline? When are you going to send out the information? And all of these things will happen pre. During, we talk about picturing the day of the event and taking it from the top, come right down to the wrap-up stage, because we have to clear the room. You might need to get a crew who is responsible to clear the room at the end of the event. So it's quite a bit of skill set that you're learning. A big role of the division director is that you assist in training of area and club leaders. And you are taught how to do that. You are trained as well. And then you will in turn be able to train. This is a natural application in the workplace. This is a natural application outside of Toastmasters, because you might be having a consultant role. You might be a facilitator. And so all of these skills are adding to your skill set. All of these skills are positioning you to be able to make the right choices in terms of jobs, in terms of continuing your career path, in terms of how you are able to help other persons. And I want us to begin to embrace our role as area directors and as division directors, and understand that it's a very valuable role. It's a significant role. And it's not just about Toastmasters, but as you embrace these roles, who you become, your growth, because many of us, we want to grow, but we don't want to change. In Toastmasters, based on how the program is structured, it allows us to change and to reflect that growth which is taking place as we build our skill set. An example, I found in my own research that organizational skills are quite a few. It's not just organizational skill. So it's more than planning, it's more than organizing. Because as you do the different roles, we talked about that, you are learning time management. And that goes right across the board. That can be applied outside of Toastmasters. We talked about the fact that you're learning how to plan. Your communication skills are sharpening more and more. We are living in a diverse world now. And even the way we communicated 10 years ago, we are learning from our Toastmasters experience, because we're a global organization, that we have to up the ante as it relates to our communication. We can't communicate in the same way. We have to be very aware of who our audience is and the whole cultural shift that's taking place. Teamwork, we learn teamwork. Area directors, you have to work with your club officers as a team. Division directors, you have to work with your area director, with the people on the deck as a team. So that teamwork and learning to be respectful of the various person's opinion, getting to the point and make sure that whatever we do, it's in the interest of the members. So we are very directed, we are very targeted. Prioritizing, we talked about that. Get out that to-do list every day. It makes sense. It drives you, it guides you. Multitasking, oh my God. not to be, we can't go into a long discussion as it relates to multitasking, but you learn that. Workflow analysis, significant. What is important now? What do I need to do now based on my delivery time? Delegating. And remember, delegating is not just about letting somebody else do the work, but it's providing an opportunity for that person to learn and grow as well. And I am recommending that we continue to do that. And scheduling, budgeting, very important. You know that you're allocated X amount of money. And so we have to make it work to be able to realize the goals of the organization and to fulfill, to ensure that the mission is being fulfilled. All right, so those are some of the skills that you learn, and you can take them and apply them to life outside of Toastmasters. I just wanted to mention quickly about the Toastmasters International 2022 to 2024 strategic plan. I am commending, if you have never read this or seen it, please go online and look at it. It's very short, but it helps to put in context who you are and what your own role is. And briefly, they have a 24-month goal, or have goals for 24 months. Now, we are accustomed to strategic plans being 5 years, but now this is for 2 years. And that is in response to the fact that our environment is so dynamic. Our goals for the next 24 months are grouped in these categories. Club excellence. Would you want to repeat them for me? After 2, 1, 2. I love the feedback and the energy. After 2, 1, 2. Club excellence, you're seeing that? Okay, good. It will come back. Now, I wanted to focus on goal number 4 as it relates to your role. Operational effectiveness. Create additional value for members, leaders, and stakeholders through standardized tools and processes, resulting in world-class operation. Area directors, division directors, Toastmasters members online in this room, that's what we do. And when we are given the guidelines, when all the different, where the expertise is shared with us and we carry them out, that's what we are doing. We're becoming operationally effective. This is a big goal and we can improve on it. We can get better at it. What are some of the things, the strategies that are involved? Do you know that in the strategic plan, this is listed as to the fact that these are the strategies area directors, division directors have to do to measure or to approach being operationally effective. Area directors consistently conduct productive area council meetings. Area directors conduct effective club visits. Division directors consistently conduct productive division council meetings. Meetings are so significant because that's where you are able to pull out important points and not fluff, which will drive us to realize our goals and which will drive an organization, a home setting, a social setting to be effective in that way. District directors consistently conduct productive district council meetings. And so these are the strategies. You are a big part of the strategic plan. The district success plan, we're dovetailing again, we're tying up the knots, we're pulling it together. All right, so the area directors, division directors, you have to be a part of this too, the district success plan, because when the discussion is had, there are roles that you have to play. The goals in the district success plan: membership, payments growth, club growth, distinguished growth, clubs. And there are some additional goals that the strategic plan has. But one of them is club excellence, and you too, that's a big part of what you do. district conduct effective club officer training. The Toastmasters education program is high on training. And that's how we develop, that's how we grow. And that's how we are able to pass on information to other persons and to help them too to develop and grow. And that's how we are able to position ourselves to grow and to serve and to be the answer to so many things that are happening outside of Toastmasters. We're serving our nation. We're serving our families. We're serving in our companies. So your leadership in your company, your contribution is beyond just going to work every day or providing consulting services. So as I mentioned before, club excellence is big, and district conduct effective club officer training, that's an important tactic that must be had. And as I encourage you, the story with your storied life, this book represents your life's journey to this point. And one of the things we learned in our last district leader training is that when we set our goals, there are some things that is easy to do. You're very comfortable, all right? But there are some goals that will stretch you. There are some goals that will make you panic. How am I going to do this? But guess what? All the brain energy, you come together with the expertise and you begin to put that together. So I have my cards. I love them. I'm not sure if the person's online will be able to see them. This is your green card. You're in your comfort zone. It's easy. Oh, yes, I can just go. I have the visits to do. I'll go do them. But the stretch is going to be the last visit was not what I expected. I'm going to make it different. All right? Stretch. What kind of training are required for my club officers? What kind of training are required for persons at work? I might not be the trainer, but I might be able to make a suggestion based on an experience that I had. And of course, you have the panic. I call it the positive panic. So you can channel that into something good and positive and with a good outcome. I showed you these three because the chapters in your book are going to represent, the chapters in your life are going to fall in these categories. But be brave and write them. Take the journey, value the process as you go on, and always look and say, who am I becoming in this role? What contribution am I making to persons within Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters? Because they overlap. Remember, the person with whom you're working in Toastmasters, they're working in other organizations, or they are working in other groups. And so your impact, whatever you give, will be very valuable and significant. So I encourage you to continue in your role, enjoy it.